remember when they told you that the 2020 election was the most free and fair election that's ever happened on this planet, ever in all of history? You know, voter fraud could never happen. You remember that? Because I do. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Freedom Fire. My name is Kendall Bowman, here to tell you all about the insanity that is the American political system with this story from the Post-Millennial. Breaking: Judge overturns Bridgeport, Connecticut mayoral primary election after Democrat clerk was busted for ballot stuffing. Oh my goodness. Let's get into the story. Let's just get right on into it. Connecticut Judge William Clark overturned the result of Bridgeport's Democratic mayoral primary on Wednesday after a video emerged showing a supporter of current mayor Joe Ganim allegedly stuffing ballots into an absentee ballot drop box. The videos, Clark said, are shocking to the court and should be shocking to all the parties. Clark ordered the parties to confer with each other and with election officials within 10 days to discuss scheduling a new primary, Connecticut Public reported. This is mere days before the November 7th election day. Clark overturned the results, saying that these allegations were enough to throw out the primary results in that September 12th primary. Incumbent Ganim won by 251 votes out of a total of 8,173 cast. That is a minuscule difference. That is a minuscule difference per Connecticut Public. What really sealed the deal for Clark, however, is that Ganim's win was secure by absentee ballots in his favor. We just keep coming back to the absentee ballots. The volume of ballots so mishandled is such that it calls the result of the primary election into serious doubt and leaves the court unit unable to determine the legitimate result of the primary, Clark said in a ruling. The surveillance video was obtained by Ganim's opposition candidate, John Gomes. The Gomes campaign sued the city and demanded the result be thrown out and a new primary be scheduled or to be declared the winner himself. A new primary date has not been announced, and if Ganim loses the general election next week, a new primary may not be set at all. Games, who won the endorsement of a minority party, is also on the ballot. Ganim's opponent, John Gomes, whose campaign obtained the surveillance video and released it publicly after the primary, sued city officials and demanded a new primary or for him to be declared the winner. Now, ultimately, this takes you right back to 2020. Takes you right back to all the chaos, all the insanity that was happening surrounding the elections and everything that was going on. Donald Trump, how could Donald Trump have lost? Oh, Biden got 80 million votes. There's no voter fraud. Voter fraud has never happened. Donald Trump loses all these court cases. And that right there is exactly what I want to touch on, is those quote-unquote court cases that Donald Trump, they said that he lost all of these court cases in all these different states, saying, he lost all these court cases. It's over. Nobody agrees with him. Everyone knows that he just lost fair and square. Well, no, actually, we don't know that, because the reality of those court cases is that those court cases they never actually went to court. They were never actually even heard. These court cases never were even heard by the judge. They were thrown out on standing. They were just thrown out, never even to be heard ever. Especially, and the biggest one was the Texas versus Pennsylvania Supreme Court case that was thrown out. Pennsylvania blatantly went against their own state constitution, and because it was a federal election that affects all of the states like Texas decided to sue them. That court case was thrown out without ever being heard. And that is exactly what happened for the overwhelming majority of these cases. Even the cases that did go to court were thrown out because, it's only a few votes. It's not going to change anything. And it's that right there. That attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, our elections are under attack. And they have been for quite some time. But I don't think you fully realize just how bad it could get very quickly. I want to share with you this. From the AP, Minnesota justices appear skeptical that states should decide Trump's eligibility for the ballot. Let's read. Minnesota Supreme Court justices appeared skeptical on Thursday that states have the authority to block former President Donald Trump from the ballot, with some suggesting that Congress is best positioned to decide whether his role in the 2021 U.S. Capitol attack should prevent him from running. Justices sharply questioned an attorney representing Minnesota voters who had sued to keep Trump, the early frontrunner for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, off the state ballot. Under the rarely used insurrection clause of the U.S. Constitution, citing Congress's role in certifying presidential electors and its ability to impeach. Several justices said it seemed that questions of eligibility should be settled there. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump has already been impeached, and he was acquitted by the Senate. Therefore, he is completely and totally eligible to run. There is nothing in the Constitution that gives the states the right to decide eligibility for running for federal office. Nothing. They get to decide how their elections are run. They do not get to decide who is on that ballot for federal elections. They do not get to decide that. There's nothing in the Constitution that provides them that power. And I want to imagine for just a second. I want you to imagine a country where they did have this. Imagine if we did have this right here, where states are the ones that decide eligibility. There would never be another election again. And we're very close to having exactly that. Never being another election again, ever. Because you want to know what will happen? There will be a candidate that comes out. It'll be a Republican. And a Republican candidate says, I'm running for office. And then instantly, every single Democrat state comes out, files lawsuits saying, this person is ineligible for this reason. And now that candidate has to go to all these states, and they have to prove before a judge why they're eligible to run for federal office. And the same thing, I imagine, would happen in Republican states. Many of them. Ladies and gentlemen, there would never be another election again. This country would be shattered. It would be ripped apart, much like it already has been, but it'll be even worse. I imagine that if this happens, there would be states just saying, why are we still a part of this? What's the point of this quote unquote union anymore? What's the point? I mean, they don't allow us to put forth the candidates that we want. We don't allow them to put forth the candidates that they want. Nothing is free. Nothing is fair anymore. Why are we still doing this? What is the point of this great experiment anymore? Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see this country ripped apart, this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it. I don't want that. I really don't. I believe that if a state has been just completely blasted by the federal government and there's just complete and total corruption against a single state, then a state might have some kind of standing when it comes to secession. But ultimately, this is not what we want. It's not. If you want to see a China-controlled world, let this happen. Because America will fall apart. It will either fall apart when it comes to states seceding and the union really no longer existing anymore, or it will fall into Democrats just control everything. Republicans are never allowed on the ballot. It'll basically be like North Korea elections. It'll be like that, The Democrats just put forth their candidate, and they keep all of the good Republican candidates off. They put forth the garbage Republican candidates. Oh yeah, they'll allow them to be on the ballot, you know. But it's really just a fake election. It's really just fake. That's the reality. Ultimately, that is what will happen if this is allowed to stand, where states get to decide who is eligible for federal elections. That is decided by Congress as of right now. Donald Trump was impeached for what happened on January 6th, but he was acquitted by the Senate. This is how we decide things. This is how things are done in our country. It's over. Donald Trump is eligible to run. He is eligible to be on the ballot. But try telling that to a Democrat. I don't know, man. Our elections are in a lot of danger. They are in a lot of danger right now. They're under attack. They have been under attack for a very long time. What do we need to do? Well, we need to be contacting our reps. We need to be... I mean, guys, I don't think you fully understand just how important that is. When you're blasting somebody's phone every single day and you have thousands of people doing that, you eventually get heard. You eventually get heard. And these politicians eventually hear, oh crap, I better do what these people want, or I'm probably going to lose my next election. It's extremely important to be contacting your reps. It's extremely important to be protesting. Peacefully, of course. Goodness gracious. It's ridiculous that we even have to say that. But welcome to 2023. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have the ability and you have a legitimate grievance, you should be filing lawsuits left and right when it comes to protecting these elections. Left and right. Donald Trump just recently filed a lawsuit in Colorado in order to keep him on the ballot, which he absolutely should. If you have any type of grievance just like this, or any grievance at all that could result in the destruction of these elections, file a lawsuit. File a lawsuit. Hey, maybe you win, maybe you don't. But ultimately, it's showing that we are willing to fight back. And if many people, if a lot of people start doing this, more and more and more, if hundreds, thousands of people start filing these lawsuits saying, we're done with this garbage, leave our elections alone, we can make a huge difference, man. We can win this culture war. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I'll have another video coming for you guys on Monday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down in the comment section, and share the show with your friends. Follow me on all the socials down in the description, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we put out new videos. And I will see you guys in the next one. Protect your families, protect yourselves, and God bless.